Okay, so I decided to do this video first today, and I had all kinds of problems for like 10 minutes here, messing around with it. But now it's okay. All right, it just maybe it didn't like the fact that I was up so early. All right, you've obviously seen some articles and stuff about Trump and solar power and wind power. And I went into this yesterday where I believe his family is heavily invested into the coal industry. But there's another, the big reason for wind power, and he's tossing solar power in with that to appease the oil companies. But the reason that he's going after wind power is that he owns a golf course in Scotland, and apparently a few years ago, after he got involved in it and owned it and bought it, everything, they put a wind farm right out in the ocean, right off the coast of this golf course. Now, I don't remember exactly, was it the one of the tees or was it the clubhouse? But apparently he said it disturbed his view. It ruined his view of the ocean. Well, let me tell you something. Donald Trump can barely see the ocean. All right, somebody else complained to him about it or mentioned it to him offhandedly, and he got all upset about it because it was a negative thought about his place. All right, the golf course sucks, by the way. It's not being maintained. It's like Baskin Ridge in New Jersey. Maintenance levels are not as good as they used to be because they can't get workers because they're mostly immigrants and they don't, white people don't want to mow grass on a friggin' golf course all day long. Oh, well, they do it in Florida. I think that's where the only help they can get down there because they refused, or Georgia too. Like I think because they just don't like black people in there too much, But in Scotland, it's got nothing to do with our immigration policies, but he's very upset about it, and people over there just actually don't give a crap, okay? If you really want to know the truth about it, they don't care about what he does or doesn't do, and, it's just, that's one of the things in life that, will never, ever, ever, ever make any sense. But that's Donnie boy, what can I tell you? To do that is just so stupid. But that's why he's good to win, and I don't know, Now he's against wind, and he's using coal. He could have gone to any other fuel. Okay. I'm just responding to my friend. That doesn't look good. What's wrong with the chat now? All right, let's try this. I'm just telling him he says he's sorry he missed the start, and he didn't miss anything. It's just the fact that I was talking about Trump complaining about wind power, and the reason that he's doing it is got nothing to do with that it's for whatever the reason is there's no reason for that. But the reason he's against wind is that like I said, it disturbed the view. He got in a big argument with Scotland about it when they were originally building that wind farm off the island of off Scotland and right in front of his golf course. He got very, very upset about that, and he he thinks the country shouldn't have done it, and it's got he wants to control whatever happens in the world has to happen the way he wants it, or it's no good. That's just Trump. That's why Trump isn't really as much against solar power, although the solar power is because of American oil companies aren't real happy with it because they can't charge energy for energy the way they unless they store it. They have to build they'd have to build solar storage areas themselves in order to be able to charge for electricity. If everybody in the country got solar power, most power companies would be on the verge of bankruptcy. Okay, until they figured it out how to charge for the sun. Okay, I don't think they have to worry too much about solar power because the way things are going, with the smog and everything will be coming in it within 10 years anyhow, and that'll be the end of that. Uh, it will be the end of solar power because you won't be able to see the sun. But wind power should be still good. And that's just Trump, it's got nothing to do with the efficiency or anything else. It's got to do with his pricky little ego saying, I don't want it in front of, it's blocking the view. The view is blue water, okay? Maybe if they painted them different colors, then they would look spectacular or something like that. Or if they put lights on them at night, colored lights or something, maybe he would be happy with that. But it's ruining his view. And I just think that's stupid, but that's Donald Trump. Stupid. Illiterate. I know, people say he's got a vast reading habit. As far as I know, he doesn't read. He never read reports, he had people coming in and telling him what the intelligence reports were and everything because he didn't want to read them. He didn't have time for it. Now, he may not be playing as much golf this year as he has in the past because I don't think he can play anymore because I just think he's fat and lazy and he falls asleep. He falls asleep around the fourth tee. And then they leave him in the golf cart and they pick him up on the way back or something, I guess, God, that's just such ridiculous crap. So anyhow, let's get out of politics for a minute because there's no sports anymore. Really, baseball starts soon, but I'm not a big baseball fan. Don't know why. I think it's because my brother, when I went to watch sports for college and stuff, was a football player, so that's why I got interested in it. My big brother was always my idol. If he was still alive, he'd be 90, would have turned 90 in December, so. But cancer got to him, and we won't go into that one because that gets hairy. But anyhow, I know I just interested you in the story, but don't worry about it. The thing with me right now is fishing, of course. And of course, I haven't been fishing in this 17, 18 years I've been down here, which was one lie I was told. Nobody down here wants to take me fishing because nobody goes fishing. They think it's an evil thing or something. I don't know. They're just stupid. And now I can't do it anyhow because I can't really walk or stand in a boat anymore. So vertigo and all that, So oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I agree, Jim. But anyhow, so I tell you what I'm doing carving wise. I'm still working on that hunk of wood you saw yesterday. I have a problem with that. The wood it's splintering and it shouldn't splinter. So I've got it soaking. I'm going to soak it in water today and see if that helps me a lot. My knives couldn't get any sharper. I mean, they slice hair off my butt, shave my arms, and slice paper, so they're as sharp as they're going to get. But I got a new project after the bear. Smaller projects I'm going to do because I can't hold them in my hands. I'm having trouble holding the knife in my hands sometimes. Oh, excuse me. Gastritis. Uh, I'm going to do a little what they call, I don't have a picture to show you right now or anything I could show you right at the moment. Moya, I think it's called Moya Easter Island heads, you know. I'm going to start carving some of them. I just think that's more fun. I know, I've seen some pictures of the views out there. Yeah, depending on the wood, Jim, soaking can help that, make it easier. A lot of people use spray it with alcohol, uh, regular, not rubbing alcohol. What's the other one? Denatured alcohol or something like that. It's called, you know, and that helps too. But I don't like to do that because then you're so used to a certain type of stroke and everything. Now you have to be careful you don't go too far. So I have better wood coming. Yeah, that's what I'm going to start carving, those stone heads. I hope you people don't mind I'm having a conversation with Fred Hyde. But anyhow, that's what I'm going to start doing a lot of. And I can't teach that kind of stuff because I get frustrated and throw shit. So that's not what you want to do. That's not what you want to do. I'm pretty good throwing knives and darts and things like that. Darts are something you should know, huh, Jim? That's more up your alley. I'm a big fan of Luke Littler, the world champion right now. I have a problem with my shoulder, so I can't throw a dart straight anymore, and I don't have a bicep. You can see this arm. It should look like that, and it doesn't. It's not really called a bicep muscle. It's a tendon. And one day I reached out to move a table and it snapped. I didn't do anything excessive or anything like that. I guess from years of tending bar, just moving my arm a certain way, I weakened it and it snapped. And I thought I broke my arm. And I gotta tell you, man, that's not that hurt. I cried, and everybody panicked. And I went to the hospital, and the insurance company got mad at me because I went to the hospital and I didn't wait to see them. And I said, I didn't even know if my arm. I said I didn't know if my arm was broke. I didn't know what was wrong with it. What am I supposed to do? Wait 2 days for you to I just don't like insurance companies. So anyhow, they wouldn't pay for the surgery. They said it was too far gone. By the time they made the decision, it was too far from the injury to the time they made the decision, so I couldn't get it done. Now I could have if I wanted to sue, but the people involved I'd be suing were good friends of mine. The insurance company dropped them anyhow. So, that just pissed me off even more. And the only bad thing about this is I don't have as much strength and I can't throw anything with any degree of accuracy. A ball, a dart, whatever. But I have a tendency every once in a while, it just, boom, I let go of something, and that's why I was waiting tables one day and I dropped a whole tray of pizza on somebody's lap. That was fun. And then I just decided I can't wait tables anymore. I just can't do it, because I can't trust my arm. And, it's like now, my body is so old. And, when I'm walking, every once in a while, my legs decide to say, no, you're not going there. And I'm standing there and I'm trying to move and I can't move. And I just wait a second and I'm yelling at in my head, I'm yelling at my legs. And finally they decide to listen and we go ahead and walk. That's just it's the strangest thing in the world, that I've experienced in a long time, but that's it. And now I have the problem when I'm carving, I can't carve for long periods of time with a great deal of strength because my arm just gets fatigued. It's a muscle thing. What's this? See, I know you love dice. Yeah, he is. He's like a machine. I used to watch Phil Taylor all the time. I don't know whether I guess you know him too. To me, he was just a world class World class, just all class. Littler's got a little roughness around him, yet he's got a. But all the dart players are getting like that because they want to be. It's how you get noticed. I think it's that guy. What's the guy's name with the mohawk that's all different? I think that's just dumb shit. That's just trying to be noticed. He happens to be fairly good, but not anymore. He's got a problem with his shoulder or something. I guess it happens all the time with in darts, anyhow, that you develop shoulder injuries from repetition. Uh, it happens to some people. It doesn't. What happens to me is the hand won't release the dart where it's supposed to. The communication is too long, so it'll go down. By the time I release it, the dart's it hits the floor. So it's just a problem, but that doesn't stop me from watching the game. And I have a bunch of very expensive darts, and I have a dart cabinet and whatnot. I was never very good, but I could hold my own in a local tavern leagues and stuff around here. So. Oh yeah, I thought so too. I didn't see it. He was late in it. He already had 5 or 6 years left in his career by the time I picked up on Taylor. Now, those of you that are watching me and say, "Who's Phil Taylor?" Phil Taylor, in my estimation, is the greatest dart player to ever live. Now, English. We're talking about our English darts here, not soft tips, steel tip English darts. Okay. In my opinion, he was the greatest one to ever live. There, people say there were others that were better than him. I don't know who they are. I have, you don't hear about them talking about him on television and everything like that. Phil retired uh, because the younger guys were coming up, and it's a strain. You don't realize that you have to play 11 what they call legs, or sometimes in a tournament. Every match that you play is 11 legs, and darts require a certain amount of stamina with alcohol and everything else. So it's kind of you know, and most of the dart players. The real good ones are very big and heavy, which I don't quite understand. They're not very athletic looking, but they're very good. Uh, I don't know whether it appears to help them with balance and whatnot. And of course, if you're tall and if you got good balance, it gives you an advantage because you're allowed to lean forward so long as your foot stays behind the line. So, you know, you're not throwing it that far. But still, it's you see some people will throw it and it's almost a straight line. They're throwing fairly hard. You can tell by the dart's penetration and everything like that. It's about halfway up the dart sometimes. And then you look at these other people that are throwing it and they're sort of lobbing it and it goes in an arc. And that's what they tell you. That's what they try to teach you people is the arc. But you learn geometry. It's like being a sniper. You have to know. The rate of fall of an object and the speed you're throwing it, whatnot. And that's. I've watched some of these guys that are so great, and then I see them throw like I did, and they'll score a 90, and I said, it's not possible. I look at a guy like Littler, and I said, the way he throws and how automatic it is and everything like that, unless there's something psychological going with him, he should throw 180s every time he picks up a set of darts. That 180s is three darts in the triple 20 spot, which is a little tiny. About that, it's about that big. All right, listen up. I've enjoyed my conversation, uh, especially about darts and whatnot. I'm going to go to a regular video now but I think I'm going to start doing the live video live since it's close. It'll be closer to 11 o'clock when it's supposed to be, and I'll do that first. I said, what did I say? I go to live video live. No, I'll do the live video first, and then come back and do another video afterwards. Or maybe we just won't do them anymore. We'll see what happens. Uh, Make people come over to the live side. All right, so that's it. Have a good day. Go find my subscription and subscribe to me. And now we'll be starting to talk about as politics gets to be completely depressing. We'll see if I can figure out a few other things to talk about. Okay. All right, everybody. Have a great day. It's Friday. I will be back tomorrow. Have a good day. Where'd you go? Oh, there it is.